Good morning, everybody. It is Monday morning. It is just after 7 o'clock in the morning. I had a really hard time getting out of bed today, so starting off a little bit later than normal. So here I am today. How is everyone doing? Let me know. Throw an emoji in the comments. Leave me a comment. Let me know how is your day going so far. And as always, let me know if there's anything you would like to hear about. And I am definitely emphasizing this today because this particular episode is based on a question that I've had from somebody. So, topic of meditation. So, this is definitely something that we start off with and end off with in all of my classes at Body Mind Fitness. And I had a question last week about how do I start meditating at home. I keep trying, but I just can't seem to get in the zone. And it's hard. I struggled with this for a long time, and there are still days where I do struggle with this. So you are not alone on this thinking. So I just wanted to offer you some tips and tricks on how you can make your meditation experience at home a little bit better. So I'm going to start off with very basic, and this is how I started introducing meditation in general at the studio, and that is just by focusing on your breath. So every time we do a meditation at the studio, the first thing we do is connect with our breathing, and then we start kind of relaxing and settling the body, and then we kind of move into that silent period. So just focusing on the breath. Focusing on the breath moving in and out of the body, focusing on the temperature of the breath, focusing on where you feel the breath most strongly, or even trying to fill up the body with breath. We talk a lot about three-dimensional breathing in my classes as well as core breathing. So sometimes incorporating some of these tips and different styles of breathing can be helpful as well. There's all sorts of yoga breathing. There's alternate nostril breathing, and there's Ujjayi breathing. There's lots of different ways to kind of play with the breath, but you can also just sit with your own natural breathing pattern. Notice how it's showing up today. And again, noticing those other things we mentioned earlier, where you're feeling it, temperature, how it moves in and out of the body. So that's tip number one. Tip number two is meditation does not have to look like sitting on the floor with your eyes closed or laying on your yoga mat either. Meditation can take on different forms, and one of the ones that I like doing is every day. I'm someone who has a paper and pen planner. I still do the paper and pen thing more than I do digitally, and in my planner, I have my weekly layout with kind of the hours broken down. So I use that for businesses. And then at the beginning of each month, they have kind of the month overview. So I actually take that section, and every day I sit down at the other end of the day and I write out 3 things that I'm grateful for that particular day, whatever pops into mind. There's some repeats, and that's okay. And just kind of sitting on those moments, really taking that time to think about what am I grateful for today, and not rushing it and just kind of putting down, the first thing that comes to your head just to get it done and over with. Actually sit with it. Grab a cup of tea. Sit and think about it. Journaling is another great one that a lot of people use as well, so that's something else that you can use too. So that's tip number 2 is sitting down with some writing and just kind of reflecting on your day. Gratitude is one of my favorite things to really sit with, because it's hard sometimes. There are days that are really difficult for all of us, and sometimes it's just great to sit down and think about all the things to be grateful for, especially when it seems like everything's kind of coming at us at once in terms of different things. And tip number 3 is the one that I'm kind of using more than either of the other 2 currently, is there is a free app that you can download. I have it particularly on my iPhone, but I'm sure it's available through Google Play as well, I would assume. And that is the Insight Timer app. So it is a free app. Of course, you could pay and get all kinds of bonus stuff. I don't know what those are because I just use the free one myself. And it is a library of guided meditations. I have a very difficult time sitting in silence. Everything has to be lined up just right for me to be able to sit in silence, and even then, I still find that my mind is turning a lot. So I really rely on guided meditations, people talking me through just about it all. There are definitely moments of silence as well in there, but there are days, even through guided meditations, I'm like, oh yeah, after this is done, I have to go do this, or I have to go clean the bathrooms, or, people stuff, mom stuff, boss stuff, all kinds of stuff floating in and out. So having a guided meditation helps me focus on something else, more predominantly the words that are being spoken to. The great thing about the Insight Timer app is you can pick a general meditation. There's kind of stuff for beginners. You can choose different lengths of the meditation, and as well as topics. Did I say topics? It's early, and I said I had a hard time getting up today. So there's all kinds of different things that you can look up and play with in terms of the Insight Timer app. And again, totally free. So you can put it on your phone and get up a little bit earlier, maybe give yourself that 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 2 minutes. Because timing doesn't matter either. You can start off very small in terms of just taking a minute to sit with your breath, or taking a minute to, sit with some writing. It doesn't have to be this 10, 15, 20, an hour thing. It just has to be a few moments of sitting with yourself and being present in your body and mind. And that's all it's got to be. So if you've got anything else you want to add to that, I would definitely love to hear about it in terms of tips and tricks that you might be using to meditate. These are just some of the top 3 simplest things. I guess 3.5 with that added little, it doesn't have to be forever thing. And I would love to hear from you again. So throw me an emoji. Let me know what you would like to hear about. And let me know if any of this resonated with you at all. I would love to hear, even on past episodes, you can leave a comment here. Let me know how some of those things are being implemented into your lives. So as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to reach out. Also, you can book your free goal and mobility assessment with me in studio or online to start your either private yoga or personal training sessions. So we would just sit down and talk about what you're looking for and tools that you can use today to get you to where you're going. So as always, thanks so much for tuning in. I'm going to finish up this cup of coffee, and then I'm sure the children are going to be up any minute now. I already hear some footsteps upstairs. It could be the dog, but it might be the children. Maybe. Anyways, have a great Monday, and I will see you next Monday morning. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great day. Bye-bye.